So a lot of people currently struggle with bondage inside their life. Bondage is holding them back and is keeping them bound to the things which are not serving them. In today's video, we're going to talk about the source of bondage, especially from like Egyptian understandings and like how to kind of overcome that and never be bound to anything ever again. Well, besides one very important thing. Now, real quick, if you don't know me, yo, what's good? It's your boy Dot from Dot Me Now Coaching and Entertainment. For coaching, my links are down below. And we are about to get into bondage. So let's talk all about that. So, bondage, right? The state of bondage is when you are bound to something. And bondage isn't inherently bad, but the reason why it's seen as bad is usually because we are in bondage to things which don't serve us, right? Whenever you have a certain habit, you're bound to that habit, but also bound to the karma of that habit, and you're bound to the spirit that keeps that habit sustained. And here's what I mean, right? Let's say that you have a habit that's bad for you, but it kind of feels pleasurable. That means that the spirit of pleasure, right, specifically a malevolent spirit of pleasure. And when I say a spirit, I don't mean like an actual being. I mean an intelligent energy. And it's malevolent because it's harming you. Because malevolent means to be evil, to want to cause harm. So if you're doing a pleasurable activity that's harming you, that is a malevolent spirit of pleasure. And a spirit is experienced through our emotions and our thoughts about the emotion. When you feel anger, you also think angry thoughts. The feeling is the energy. The thoughts are the intelligence of that energy. A spirit's an intelligent energy. And every habit that you do is reigned by a certain spirit, whether it's good or bad, right? Because there's also, like let's say you're being disciplined. You could say that's a spirit of discipline, right? Now, your eternal spirit, right, is encapsulating all of these, because you have your eternal spirit, then you have like the lesser spirits that we experience on earth and shit like that, right? So don't get your eternal spirit and like these little minor spirits mixed up, because your eternal spirit essentially has a spirit of discipline and way beyond that. And you know what I'm trying to say? My point is, though, every habit has a certain spirit to it, and it also has certain karma attached to it. Whenever you do an action, even if it's just a thought, because that's a mental action, whenever you do a certain action, you build karma. You build up these samskaras, right, which are karmic impressions. You build up these energies inside you, which are constantly activating and trying to act through you all the time. And the more you repeat a habit, the more you bind yourself to that karma, and the more likely you are to repeat that cycle. Now, inherently as humans, we naturally kind of get attached to things. And the only reason why is because there's one main attachment which we are actually seeking. And that attachment is a connection with our soul, right? A connection with our spirit. And the only reason that we tend to do things that do not benefit us is because we easily get caught up by the illusions of the world. I made a song recently. It's called, what did I call that joint? Divine Heathen. I didn't drop it, but I put it on my Instagram. You feel me? And it goes like, been overcoming my demons. There's so much bondage in the world. My fault. Let me read. Been overcoming my demons. So much bondage in the world. Just to cloud what you're seeing. Bondage really is a state where you're being clouded by something, right? There's an illusion being casted upon you. Even when you know that something is bad for you, if you keep on doing it, you're still playing out some sort of illusion. And this is what they talk about when it comes to Aset and Nebuchadnezzar in Egypt, right? Because Nebuchadnezzar is a goddess, which I talk about the goddess inside that song also. You feel me? I might just have to play it for y'all. I ain't gonna cap. Hold up. Actually, I'll play it for y'all at the end. I'll play the song for y'all at the end. You feel me? I'll play a little bit of it. No, I'm not. I'm not doing that. I might do it. We're going to see. You're going to have to stay to the end to find out. But my point is, right, with Aset and Nebuchadnezzar, Aset is a goddess that represents spiritual awareness, right? Aset is also the wife of Asar, which is the god of the soul, right? Represents your soul. But Aset has a twin sister, which is Nebuchadnezzar, right? Nebuchadnezzar is representative of physical awareness, right? And the reason why Nebuchadnezzar and Aset are twins is because it's trying to show you that your spiritual awareness can easily be mistaken for physical awareness. Because with Aset, or also known as Isis, right? She is also dealing with like divine love, spiritual love, while Nebuchadnezzar deals with physical love and lust. And you might get your lust mistaken for your love, and your desire mistaken for your actual drive. Because desiring things, people say that people say that desire is an amazing energy and that you need that, but it's actually not. Desire is horrible, because when you desire things, you're coming from a state of lack. See, desire and like motivation and things like that are completely different. You could be motivated to do something, right? Because motivation is not like, you could be motivated to get something, but you want to be motivated to do something. And it's like, when you have a desire to do something, desire kind of implies that you don't have it and that like you're craving it super bad. With motivation, it's like, I already feel good, so because I feel good, I'm going to do this. When you desire to do something, you are usually trying to derive some type of pleasure from that action. That's why we desire, like people desire to have intercourse, right? They're trying to derive the pleasure from intercourse because they feel like they lack pleasure inside themselves. But when you're just motivated, you're not trying to derive pleasure from nothing. You just want to do it, so you do it, and whatever result comes from it doesn't really matter, because you just want to do this thing because you just felt so good. You see what I'm trying to say? So, but these things get easily mistaken, which is why niggas say that with manifestation, you need desire. You know what I'm saying? What they're trying to say is that you need some type of motivation, right? You need to actually want to do this, right? It's not about wanting to acquire it because you feel like you need it or not. No, it's just that you want to do something. You feel me? Just because you feel so good that you naturally want to do it. That's the real motivation, that to be more Aset and not Nebuchadnezzar. So because these things get seen as because these things are sometimes seemingly similar, right? The physical pleasures and spiritual pleasures, we get caught up beside the physical stuff. You know what I'm saying? This is what happens when Osiris in the myth, aka Asar, sleeps with Nebuchadnezzar, thinking that Nebuchadnezzar is actually his wife Aset, because once again, they're twins. And he only did this because inside that story, he was intoxicated. He was drunk, right? And it's a symbol of how the physical world intoxicates us, because when he's intoxicated, he sleeps with Nebuchadnezzar. And it's trying to say that when you're in the physical world, it can intoxicate you and make you actually want to bind yourself to the physical world and your physical awareness and physical desire, rather than spiritual awareness and spiritual aspiration and stuff like that. You see? That's another word. Yeah, desire versus aspiration are different. Because when you aspire, right, it's like you aspire to do something. You just want to do something because you feel the benefit of doing it. And it's not like you're trying to derive a benefit from it. It's like it's beneficial because you genuinely want to do it. Like, for example, Horus in the state of baby Horus is your spiritual aspiration. It's pretty much born from the fact that before baby Horus is Anubis, and Anubis represents discernment, which Anubis is born from Osiris and Nebuchadnezzar. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, you feel me? But my point is, right, when it comes to baby Horus and spiritual aspiration, that develops when you first work with Anubis. Anubis represents discernment, when you see the real from the fake. Once you see the real, right, and once you recognize your spirit, you naturally aspire to connect more with your spirit. Because you feel good about your spirit, you just want to get more of your spirit. You know what I'm saying? Which, that's the only thing that you may feel like you lack. But it seems like you lack it. It's just that, like, you want to stay in tune with this. It's like you recognize your spirit, and now you aspire to stay in tune with your spirit. So it's not even like you're aspiring to acquire your spirit, because you have to first recognize what is of your spirit first to even have a spiritual aspiration. Because, for example, if it's desire, how can you desire something that you don't even know is possible? Like, if niggas didn't know it was possible to, like, have intercourse, they wouldn't really desire that. You know what I'm trying to say? And when I say no, I mean, like, because, like, someone may say, well, what about the first person who had intercourse, right? Well, their body is programmed to do that. But, like, let's say also, like, if you never knew it was possible to leave your body, you wouldn't really want to leave your body. It's only when niggas started randomly leaving their body, or when their soul knew they could leave the body, they actually left their body. You know what I'm trying to say? Either it happens spontaneously, then you find out, then you desire it. Or my point is, right, you can't aspire for your spirit if you didn't already sense and get a hold of your spirit. And the aspiration is you just wanting to stay in tune with that. It's not like this desire. No, it's nothing like that. You know what I'm trying to say? So I'm saying this because when it comes to Osiris, aka Asar, and Nebuchadnezzar, right? Asar was intoxicated by the physical world, right? Your soul, when it's inside the physical world, kind of gets intoxicated and it begins to desire becoming one with the physical world. And it starts to do certain things that put it in bondage. It becomes bound to the physical plane through certain habits, through certain beliefs, through certain emotions, so on and so forth. Now, inside the myth, once Asar and Nebuchadnezzar have intercourse and stuff like that, it leads to the birth of Anubis, right? AKA Anpu, right? Now, Anubis or Anpu is a god that represents intellectual discernment at the instinctual level. Instinctually being able to understand right from wrong, real from not real. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why it's born from Osiris, aka Asar and Nebuchadnezzar, is because your soul begins to gain understanding of what's real and false by interacting with what's real and false. Before sleeping with Nebuchadnezzar, Osiris, aka Asar, only ever slept with his wife, Aset, or Isis, right? So it was only when he slept with Nebuchadnezzar that he truly understood the illusion of what that comes with. So it's like once you kind of become in bondage and then recognize your bondage, you kind of naturally build more discernment. And as you're in the physical world more, while trying to stay in tune with your soul, you naturally build more discernment, you know, and you actually need your discernment to properly interact with the physical world without becoming bound to it. So building your discernment is very important because as you become more discerning towards what's of your spirit and what's not, you'll naturally aspire to stay in tune with your spirit. You see what I'm trying to say? So with that being said, it's really important to stay in tune, bro. And it's really important to overcome that bondage. The only thing that you want to be bound to is your spiritual awareness and your spirit in general. You want to be bound to your spirit. Because whenever we seek attachments, that's the real attachment which we're seeking, an attachment to our spirit. The name of Set, which is the actual Egyptian name for Isis, the name of Set means the throne. The throne is where the king sits. Who is the king? Asar, right? Asar sits inside the throne. Asar, being the soul, sits inside of the throne. The throne is a Set, which represents what? Spiritual awareness. So sitting inside the throne means that your soul is rooted and bounded, right, to your spiritual awareness. And then in the outside world, right, you see the word Nebuchadnezzar, right? That means mistress of the house. The throne is inside the house. And when you sit inside the throne, it's like you're inside the middle of the house, right? Now, if Nebuchadnezzar is the house, what's the house symbolically? The house symbolically is the physical world. So Nebuchadnezzar is the mistress of the physical world. That means that everything you see outside you is Nebuchadnezzar, right? Clothed in, like all this physical stuff is just energy that's clothed in illusion. So you see all this illusion around you because you're not seeing the true form of anything for real. It's all illusion around you. But while being inside the illusion, while being inside the house, you need to sit inside the throne. You need to be rooted inside your spiritual awareness. So while inside the physical plane, experiencing this physical awareness, you must be rooted also inside your spiritual awareness. That is what you need to become bound to. See, bondage isn't really bad unless you're bound to something which is bad for you. But if you're in bondage to your own spirit, one may not even call that bondage because now you're truly free. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, you become a Jedi. You know what I'm saying? Or a Jedi. You know what I'm saying? And the word Jedi or the Jedi is where Jedi comes from. Because the Jed is a pillar. I made another song called Akuzi Flow. I was like, back in the past, Akuna Akuzi. I was Akuna Akuzi. I'm stable the Jed, nigga. You cannot move me. The Jed is a pillar in Egypt. I'm stable, the Jed, nigga, you cannot move me. The Jed, right, is a pillar in Egypt that represents the backbone of Osiris, and it has the 4 higher chakras on it. The heart, throat, pineal, crown. Because when you act from the higher chakras, you're able to actually tap into your spirit, then you become stable, right? You become rooted like a pillar. You feel me? And it's the backbone because the energy has to go up your spine and stuff like that. And once you actually access the heart and the higher chakras, you gain an easy communication with your spirit. You can become rooted in your spirit, and now you become stable, like a dejed, like the backbone of Osiris, like the spiritual energy of your soul, right? You become rooted inside of that, and that doesn't mean don't focus on the lower ones. The lower ones are already rooted at the bottom. That's why it's a whole entire pillar. You know what I'm saying? So when you become balanced to your spiritual awareness, you become a Jedi or a Jedi. You become a true Jedi. And you actually learn how to manipulate energy better too. But that's a whole different topic for a whole different video. You know what I'm saying? I'm in this video right here, and I hope you guys learned something. You know, I love you all. Catch my next video. Like the videos. Subscribe if you're new. Peace. Do it free.